Hey everybody, welcome back. It has been a while since I have done a video. I have been working hard with buying inventory for the eBay store. I spent about 5 grand on new inventory for the eBay store for cards. I'm gonna do a video on that coming up, and of course this video series. It's a 7 part, no, I don't know, 8 or 9 part. We'll see how it all works out. But can I pull all the players from the 2025 NFL draft? Stay tuned. But real quick, before we start this video, I set a goal earlier this year to hit 1,000 subscribers. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, I will do a fun video where I open up all these Sparkle packs. It's $1,000+ for all these 1,000 subscribers, $1,000 packs. Hopefully you get it. But it should be a lot of fun, so please hit that like and subscribe. Thank you. All right, we are starting off with a little different look here than you're used to on this channel. You're probably wondering, am I at school right now, at work? I'm seeing Excel charts, numbers, percentages, all kinds of stuff. So let me explain what this is real quick. I think this will help start the conversation or what we're going to be doing here, and especially what's going to happen over the next, 8 or 9 videos we do. So basically what you're seeing here is an overall summary of each position and then the number of players that were drafted in this most recent 2025 NFL draft and what products you can find them in, right? For what we're doing, this hypothesis is, can you pull all the players from the 2025 NFL draft? Yes, you could. But for us, we're going to do a specific segment, and that's the BPL, if you see at the top. That's basically our Bowman Chrome University, our Panini draft picks, and our Leafed Hero and prospects. And then there's this OS, OL, OB. I'll walk through what that is later, but that's a bunch of other products where you can find these players in. And then I have none. So basically, I could not find a product available for that specific player. And then I have the total and the percentage of each total. So what I did is I went through each player in the draft. I put their name into eBay, searched it, saw what popped up, and then I marked that. Okay, so as an example, there are 3 centers on that first line that were drafted. I found 2 of them in other products, not that we'll be ripping, and then I couldn't find one at all, right? A lot of the interior linemen, linebackers, things like that, a majority of them you're going to find in some of these other products, and we'll walk through what those are. But you can see that your quarterbacks, 86%, you're going to find in the products I'm opening. If you're looking for running backs, 80% of them you'll find in these products that I'm opening. Wide receivers, etc. So let's do one more, just so we're on that. So quarterback, that's towards the bottom. You can see the position. There are 12 quarterbacks that were drafted that you'll find in these products. 1 that is not in these products, and then 1 I couldn't find at all. And then there was 14 total, obviously, quarterbacks drafted. So 86% you'll find in these products. And hopefully this helps set the stage. I hope you're not confused, but let's get to the next part. And I think this will help clarify all this. All right, so this is round 1. So we have all the players that were drafted in the first round. You can see the team they were drafted to, the player, the position, the college they attended, and then you'll see these Y's in green, meaning that you should, if you were to go to the checklist, you should be able to pull a Cam Ward out of the Panini product of Bowman and the Leaf, right? And then as you scroll down, if you look at the 3rd overall pick, Abdul Carter, DN out of Penn State, was not in the Panini draft pick checklist or the Bowman or the Leaf, but you can find him on the Onnit product. And the Onnit product is relatively new. It's part of the NIL, where the profits, where a player will go and sign some of these cards, and he receives the money from the sale of these cards, right? And so if you look through there, you can see that, like, Chicago Bears, Colston Loveland, he's a tight end out of Michigan. He's in a wild card product, right? Donovan Jackson, guard from Ohio State. He's in the prior year Bowman. He's not in this current checklist. And then same with Jihad Campbell out of Alabama. He's in the Bowman. So If I'm going to do this for each round. We'll go through it quickly, but I did this as a kind of a definitive guide for you guys. If you got a player that you are following and you're trying to find some of his cards, come check this out. I have it listed by the pick, each round, like I said, player, position, college, and then if you can find in these products. For the rips that we're doing, I'm just focusing on the Panini, once again, the draft picks, the Bowman U, and then the Leaf Heroes and Prospects. All right. So this is round 2. You can see that, yes, you can find quite a bit of these players in the products that we're opening. There's some in the Ohio State, Travion Henderson, who went to New England, is in 2024 Pro Set, which is a Leaf product. You can find some of these other guys in the Bowman. It looks like the 2022-23 Leaf. That got a little messed up for pick 50 there. But yeah, then you have the On It and Sage. And then, for instance, Anthony Belton, the O-tackle for North Carolina State. I couldn't find him in any products. So if you're trying to find him, you might have to wait till the pro cards come out. Okay, here is round 3. So you can see quite a few guys on here are not in any products, like the New York, the D-tackle out of Toledo, cornerback out of Iowa State. If you have any questions on this, please leave a comment. I will try to answer it, and hopefully this all makes sense, but please refer back to this. Okay, so this is round 4. Now, just to reiterate, what I did is I took the player's name, put it into eBay, and I checked to see if I could find that player and what products they are. And then obviously the ones that are Panini, Bowman, and Leaf, I went through and checked out the checklist for each one of those products. All right, round 5. And as you work your way down these rounds, you'll notice there's less and less kind of green that appear on these sheets. All right, we got round 6. One more to go here. Last round 7, all 257 picks. Please pause any of this, refer back if needed. All right, welcome back, everybody. We got another video. This is part 3 of Can I Pull all the players in the 2025 NFL Draft. I started to do this content or this series earlier this summer and then got sidetracked. It was kind of like right after the draft, and now we're in week 5 of the NFL season, and I'm just finishing it up. So it will kind of pivot and change here. Talk about which players, who's doing well, not well, and even some of the other college players. Like I said, you got like Cam Scadaboo is turning up right now. Jackson Dart. I mean, you got all kinds of different guys who kind of know who drafted, who's shook out, and who is not shaking out. And we're kind of seeing some guys pop off in college, like Carson Beck from Georgia, who went to Miami. You have Arch Manning. That's a whole nother topic on its own, which I won't get into, but I got faith in him. But anyways, yes, let's get into it. This is our 3rd box of Bowman Chrome. And I'm going to pivot. The next one of these I'm going to get away from the Bowman Chrome because we've already done 3 of these, and I think we're kind of running out of new items. Okay, so we got our quad going here. Let's see what we have. All right, so on the bottom right, we have Benjamin Morrison, who was drafted 2nd round, pick 53 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Looks like on the depth chart, he's 2nd string cornerback behind Jamel Dean. He's questionable this week. Let's look at some of his stats. Let's see. I think he's only had 5 tackles so far. Yeah, 5 solo tackles this season. 0 sacks. I don't know how much playtime he's getting. All right, let's move on. All right, but yeah, how about the Bucs though? I mean, Baker Mayfield coming in on his own, looking strong this season. All right, what do we got here? Now we're moving into our 2nd pack. Let me know who your favorite team is down below as well. Looks like we got an insert there. Okay. KJ Bolden, Jacoby George. We got a path to glory. Yeah, on the top left, you have KJ Bolden for Georgia. I think he's the 5th ranked safety in the country, according to Pro Football Focus. So, collectible player. All right, but let's move on. Harold Perkins Jr., path to glory. Yeah, KJ Bolden might be getting drafted. You know, any of those guys out of Georgia, Alabama. Granted, Alabama's had an interesting year so far this year. College game has changed dramatically with the portal. The talent is so spread out now, which is real interesting to watch. Games are becoming very less, I would say, predictable. What do we got here? Okay. All right, on the top left, we got Michael Williams. Now, he was drafted round 1, pick 11, to the 49ers on the depth chart. He's the current starting right defensive end. Let's check out his production. He's got 10 tackles and 0 sacks so far this year. So, I mean, fairly, I don't know if you want to consider that good. Great projections or stats. But all right, let's move on to the Saints here. We have Davin Neal. He was drafted round 6, 184. He's the 3rd string running back for them right now. All right, and that's just kind of the silver refractor or whatever. Nothing really juicy, no number cards yet. Nothing too crazy here so far. Let's move on to the next pack. As I'm recording this, probably the big college games I'm excited to watch tomorrow. Today's Friday, the October 10th for me, but tomorrow the Texas-Oklahoma game. That's going to be fun to watch. We'll see what happens. Hopefully that O-line for Texas gets their butts in gear. All right, what do we got here for pack number 4? So you do have Eugene Asante on the bottom left. He was undrafted, and he's with the Dolphins as a linebacker. I think he's just on the practice squad, though. All right, let's continue on. We're moving on to pack 5, I believe. That's just the Acropolis, kind of a really common insert you can get. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, a lot of packs in this little organization here. Yeah, a lot of packs to get through. We got about 24, so we'll try to get through these quickly. Hopefully we get something exciting here. Let's see, looks like we got an X-Fractor there, or yeah. I kind of like those cards. They're common, but I think they look pretty cool. All right. All right, on the top right, we do have the X-Fractor insert or parallel. That is Francisco Mauigoa. He was plays as a linebacker for the Jets out of Miami. He is a starter. So far, he's got, I believe, 16 tackles. Yeah, so he's got 16 tackles, no sacks. But yeah, he is getting playtime. But yeah, if you're a New Yorker right now, you gotta be watching obviously the Bills, but obviously the Giants, right? The uptick. I'm glad to see Big Blue or the Giants doing well. It's been fun to watch Scadaboo and Dart kind of build that relationship and turn that program around. Man, Dart, I'm a fan, man. He's got the aura, as they say. All right, what are we rocking into here? Okay, Dylan Gabriel, we know about him. All right, top left, we got Ricky White out of UNLV. Man, they must have probably not a ton of players out there, but yeah, he got picked round 7, pick 238 to the Seahawks, wide receiver. And then, of course, we got Mr. Dylan Gabriel, who's now starting for the Cleveland Browns, round 3, pick 94. I know him and Shedeur have been competing for some of those spots. So we'll see what happens with that relationship. I think Shedeur said he is committed to stay in Cleveland, so we'll see. And then, of course, you got that Nico guy who was Tennessee and then went to UCLA and then was a bust for the first couple games at UCLA. But anyways, all right, we'll keep moving on. Yeah, obviously with Nico going in that portal to UCLA, sometimes those moves aren't always the best thing, but I think there's some ties there, roots there to that school. I might be wrong. But let's move on to like the next pack. Oh, there's my guy, Ashton Jeanty for the Raiders. We got a stacked pack here. Oh, Carson Beck. All right, yeah, we got Ashton Jeanty on the bottom left to the Raiders. He had a slow start, but then they changed his stance or something. How he did it for the first couple games, and then he went back to his old running stance. That kind of he just stands there pre-snap and got like 2 tutties and a bunch of yards. So yeah, and then of course we got Carson Beck, top right, path to glory. No longer Georgia, but he's a Heisman candidate for Miami. He's on a tear right now. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about a couple of big names that are not in this product. Who did I have? Well, I think actually, okay, so like Travis Hunter, if you're looking for him, you're not going to find him in the Bowman product. He's only in Leaf, so he wasn't in Panini or Bowman, which is surprising, but he's a big name. If you're looking for him, he's doing well at Jacksonville. All right, let's see what we got here. A little bit of a shimmy there. Okay, that's all right. Bottom right, round 1, pick 26, James Pierce. He's playing for Atlanta right now out of Tennessee. And then we have Dion Walker. So these guys are both D-line. Round 4, pick 109. He went to the Bills. So check him out. All right, we'll continue on. Yeah, and that's that purple shimmer. I don't think that one's numbered, if I remember off the top of my head. It was a long time ago since I opened this. Yeah, it doesn't look numbered. You'd see it in the bottom right. But typical cadence with Bowman Chrome is you get those 4 cards per pack, and the first 3 are base cards, and then your last card is the insert. But that changes depending. They have like Breakers Delight boxes and other things where it's like all parallels, inserts, autos, things like that. But yeah, that's the typical cadence. All right, so we got pack number 9. Okay. All right, so top left, we got Taz Johnson out of Oregon. He went to Tampa Bay. I think he's only played 1 game. He's got, so far this season, 5 receptions, 7 targets, 67 yards, no tutties. And then you got Jarquez Hunter, who went to the Rams, but he hasn't played at all, so I don't know if he's on practice squad or what. To look at the depth chart. But all right, we'll continue on. Yeah, for the Bucks, so I'm sure Taz, he's got a Mecca there who's got 5 touchdowns, 444 yards, averages 17 yards a play, 23. So he's obviously dominating. I have a few of his higher end cards. I pretty much sold out of all of those. This has been a hot product for me. Ah, there he is. Blue, go blue. Big Blue, Jackson Dart. I would love to get I've seen some cards of his going for crazy, crazy prices right now for Dart. What do we got top right? Yeah, so we got our guy Jackson Dart, bottom left, out of Ole Miss. Starting now, they took Russell out. Obviously, they trounced on Philly the other night. Dart came out. Man, he's a stud. Him and Scattaboo just got that aura. They're fun to watch. Throwing shade to the Chargers. What did he tweet out? Madison Beers or something? Herbert's girl. Man, all kinds of stuff. And then Cade Klubnik over here. Kind of quiet season for Clemson. Just a spoiler alert, though, since we're talking about Scattaboo and Dart, I did get a nice Scattaboo card. I won't say what it is and then what box it's from and all of that. But that probably will end up in my personal collection. We'll see how long his career goes for. The guy plays like it's his last day on earth. Like, he's the juggernaut, man. It's just his center of gravity and how low he gets. He just gets underneath guys, and his technique is just insane. Yeah, so top left we have Ollie Gordon the second, round 6 pick 179. He went to the Dolphins. They're 1-4, but on the depth chart he's second, which is good. So he's getting some carries. He's got 21 carries, 58 yards, 1 tutty. So he's getting some looks, 1 injury away from being a starter, as they say, especially with running back. And then we got Jacob Parrish, round 3, pick 84 to the Bucks. I won't get too much into the defense side. But then top right, Thomas Castellanos. He is tearing it up at FSU right now. I would, hot player, pick his stuff up. Probably, like I said, he's a collectible player. If he's come across his stuff, pick it up. Yeah, and that with the backup running backs and even receivers, if you can get those RB2, wide receiver 2 super cheap somewhere, a card, either like an auto or anything, man, it's so easy for guys to get injured in the league. Look at what's happened. I'm sure everybody's fantasy teams have blown up so far, and then those guys become starters, and then their price instantly goes up. So that's something to keep to think about as you're picking up cards. All right, so what do we got here? All right. Yeah, so top left, we've out of Ohio State, we have Will Howard, who is on injured reserve right now for the Steelers. So you won't be seeing him at all this season. But obviously, Aaron Rodgers is there starting, and then they got Mason Rudolph backup. So he probably would have been his development player at best. Not sure what he's out with, but if you don't see him, it's just because he's on IR. Yeah, and speaking of Ohio State, they're on a tear as well. That defense is scary. Good luck to any team trying to beat them this year. 5-0 overall, no losses. I think they're one of 3 teams that are actually undefeated in the Big Ten. Indiana, wow, is 5-0, and then Oregon is 5-0. Michigan only 1 loss. USC only 1 loss. Washington, and then obviously you kind of work your way down there. But yeah, they're super good. Also BYU, not Big Ten, but and then of course we got our guy Cam Ward out of the U, starting first overall pick, round 1, pick 1 to the Titans. The 1-4 Titans, they've been having a rough go. Cam, I know his dad hasn't been too happy, but he's played 5 games, 85 completions, so 51% completion percentage, 879 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's been sacked 19 times, and 64 passer rating. So yeah, not good. But that's what, 5 games, almost 20 sacks. Ooh, they got to get an O-line over there. Yeah, if we look at Tennessee's stats so far, so Cam's only throwing 2 touchdowns, and the running game has only got 2 touchdowns. They have only had 4 touchdowns. Maybe if I'm reading this correctly, all season. Tony Pollard got 2 touchdowns rushing. And then the only two touchdowns receiving have been Elek Amar. Where's Calvin Ridley at? And some of these other guys. Yeah, no, Pollard didn't catch one. So, what are you supposed to do when you got those numbers there? Yeah, so top left we got Omari and Hampton out of NC went to the Chargers, about who's currently on injured reserve, which is sad. That's hate to see that. Both him and Najee Harris on injured reserve, so they're moving way deep in the depth chart over at the Chargers. When he did play though, he had what, 66 carries. So he had the bulk of the carries, 314 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I hope he gets better for next year. Okay. Oh yeah, was that Carson Beck on there too? Did I get a different things? I had some editing issues here, so we figured this out. All right, so yeah, this should be the right one. There's DJ Lagway off the rip. We saw him. All right. And then we got a, what is that, Gambling Man or something like that, top right. But yeah, DJ Lagway for the, yeah, had his breakout game against Texas last week. That was fun to watch. Of course, Texas on the road hasn't been great in the shoe on the swamp, as Sark said. I'm going to try to get through these quick. I realize we are at 27 minutes. So we are going to just roll through here. Oh, there he is. Okay, so we got 2 Ryan Williams cards, standout receiver at Alabama. We got the silver one. There we got Devin Neal, round 6 pick 184. Yeah, a lot of hype around Williams. I think last video I got an auto of his to 10. So that will be saving in the PC. He'll be somewhere in the draft, first, second round. So if you come across his stuff, pick it up. Wide out. He's more of a long ball receiver. I don't have his stats in front of me, but we'll look at that later. Okay, so let's move on to pack 17. All right, we have Caden Prather, round 7, pick 240. But then we have a Xavier Restrepo gold auto to 25. That's nice. Not sure. Okay, Bowman first. All right, let's move on. Okay, so Xavier was picked up by the Titans, undrafted. I think he's just on the practice squad, though. Not sure how much that card's going for. If I got that up on eBay, I'll have to look. All right, moving on. What are we on? Pack 18. Okay, so we got, what, Matthew Golden there at the top for Texas. Where did he go? Yeah, 1 second here. All right, top left, we got Matthew Golden. Round 1, pick 23 out of Texas. Man, they could use him this year. He was picked up by the Packers. He is starting. Let's see what his stats are. 11 receptions, 14 targets, 0 touchdowns. Romeo Dobbs is obviously number 1. He's getting all the looks. He's got 4 touchdowns. But yeah, anyways, starting for the Packers. That's a blue shimmer up there too. I think that was numbered. Like I said, I filmed this a couple months ago, so there's been a lot of cards between now and then. And then to go back and look at it. If it was big money card, I'd let you know though. So, all right, we're moving on. We got 4 or 5 packs left here. We'll get through this quick. Um, who do we have in next one? Okay, I think this is a pretty good one. We do get a Ramblin' Man insert of Tez Johnson. We've already talked about him. There's Pat Bryant. He was drafted, so we got 2 on there. Then you got C.J. Baxter for the running back for Texas. Yeah, so top left is Pat Bryant, round 3, pick 74 out of Illinois. He went to the Broncos. He's only gotten 2 receptions, 3 targets, so not much play time. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that Ramblin' Man insert or the correlation between that and college football, but who knows? But, all right, so I think we do get a couple more autos this box too. I usually try to save those for the end. But obviously we had that one of Raspato. All right, so we're moving into pack 20. Let's see here. We got top left out of Notre Dame. Round 3, pick 96. Xavier Watts. He went to Atlanta. And then we have round 4, pick 126. Dylan Sampson, running back for Cleveland. He's only gotten 5 carries and 4 yards, so I'm really not getting any production yet. All right, moving on. Oh, that's just a silver insert too. Oh, my wife is doing these ones. I forgot. My wife, I'm like, that watch, her wristband doesn't, her hands don't look like me, but my wife sometimes comes down and wants to open his cards and hang out with me and stuff, which I think is cool. That she appreciates or gets into the hobby as well. The kids have really been into Pokemon. They're really getting into that now. So that's been fun to see them interested in it. I would say my favorite Pokemon is Snorlax. I love that guy. It's my spirit animal. Have picked up a few Snorlaxes. This one we got nothing on there. Harold Perkins Jr. though, good linebacker for LSU. Yeah, Harold Perkins, good linebacker. I wish I would have been a Pokemon person though as a kid. You know, all the cards that we had as kids growing up, I was just sports cards, and that a lot of that's just junk wax. So, but the Pokemon stuff's crazy. Some of those cards, the first edition, going for millions and millions of dollars, and all that stuff. That Pokemon scene is big time as well. But yeah, Snorlax, that's my Pokemon. All right, so we're gonna pack 22 here. We got Kyle Williams, round 3, pick 69. He went to the Patriots. I don't think we've talked about him. And then round 7, pick 244. Dominic Lovett to the Lions. Yeah, and that Kyle Williams is just a silver kind of common refractor. He's at New England. He's only gotten 20 yards, 2 receptions, 2 targets, 20 yards. So really not getting too much play time. Obviously with injuries, that could easily change. And it's Stephon Diggs is your main guy there for New England. Let's see if who's gotten the most. Yeah, Stephon, most targets, then Hunter Henry behind Stephon. Ramondre Stevenson, so he's not even on the radar quite yet. All right, we're moving on to our next pack. And we do got a nice auto on the top right there. No draft. That's Connor Harrell. QB, that's to what in the 100. It's 150, I believe. Fuchsia. Auto, that should be up on the eBay store. Yeah, most of these will be up on the eBay store. If you don't see them, they might have already sold. Probably been up there a couple months. But yeah, they eBay store. As I say, the link is down below. If you're interested in checking that out, I got about 10,000 cards up there right now. I just did a PSA reveal. Had some really good Gem Mint 10 cards that I'll have up there eventually. But go check it out. I got stuff from a low dollar all the way up to hundreds of dollars. So all sports, including golf. I mean everything in there. So this is going to be a quick one. We've already talked about Deion Walker. There really wasn't a hit card there. Just your normal kind of base card. So no last pack magic of anything crazy. 2 autos. I felt like you're supposed to get 3. Maybe I'm wrong. It's just been a while since I've looked at this. Or maybe those are the other boxes you get 3. The breaker ones. So let's quickly do a recap. Yeah, so this was box 3. We only had 2 new cards. Kyle Williams and Jordan James. Those are the highlighted ones. So now we've gone through some of these. We've really picked through most of everything. So I'll pivot to another type. Probably the Panini or Leaf. Leaf's got a ton of them in there. Maybe I'll do that next. But we've gotten quite a few Bowmans off the thing here. But alright, stay tuned, folks. I'm probably going to do a couple other different videos before I do the 4th of these. It's just, these ones are a lot of time to pick up and get ready. But I hope you're enjoying this series. Let me know if you'd like it. Hit like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff you're supposed to say. I hope you all have a good day.